All right, today what I'm going to do is copy this Klimt, which I've always loved. And what I'm going to do, I just have a box of just things here, pencils, and I'm just going to take and I'm going to work with what I got here. So rather than kind of going to try to find something, I think I've got a Conte, and I'm just going to go for it. So, all right, let's go. Let's draw it in. Let me get some charcoal so that I can kind of loosely get it on there. Maybe I'd do it about the same size. I don't particularly like working in that way, like kind of like a sight size way, just because I feel just too easy to pull data over, and it doesn't feel like it's drawing. All right. There's a beauty in all of what's happening in this awesome composition. There's the face right in there. Before I get into the face, just see what fits in terms of like the elements of the composition. All right. There we go. The interesting thing about, one of the interesting things about Muka, Klimt, who I love all of them. Same with Egon Schiele, is that the drawing is very, very, very expressive. And I think it's what I like about it. There's not an accuracy to it. More on the emotional side of the pulling the strings there. All right, let me just get that in. Look at that, just as it's designed, I'm just a nice big dark there. All right. Cool thing about all this is that you can kind of do that. See about now building this tonally, and maybe it's even something that work on like cross hatching. There you go. So I don't know, sometimes I go in with an idea and then sometimes you just begin to work. Maybe even time allows you to force you to just make a decision. But I would say just do rather than overthink. Like what happens with mark making? You look at some of those preliminary works, sometimes they have a lot of expression in them. What happens if I got asked like about hatching? I don't know, there's many different ways to hatch, and it can't be so uniform. If it becomes too uniform, I don't know, you build the tone up. They used to copy engravings back in the day, which is just a great way to kind of understand. Let's go for some line. The hand of the artist. The thing about engravings is that engravings are all about form, like the economy of form. Like this is a very line-driven, beautiful softness. Also, the question is, how will I use the ground as a way to, like, what is the paper doing for me? little drawing. Maybe it's about finding line and tone together. I don't know. But you know, the beautiful thing about this study and doing it like this is that you're actively, hopefully you're actively conscious and aware of what it is. Oh, there we go. Got some these in here. Just call them blenders, but you know, maybe it gets a tone over it. Take some of that and average it, smooth it, work it into the paper. Keeps a little of the ground as well. It's interesting. Its own little tone to it. But also let's get a little of the white. How do I work the white? What is the white of this? Maybe this. Yeah, I try not to have the like white of the white touch the dark and let the mid-tone be its own thing. But let yourself go of having to always make everything look perfect, you know? Especially in a faster one, where it's more about the spirit, at least in my opinion, the way that I like to do it. I think there's an economy of the line. Again, Sheila and Clint both have it. Eraser. There we go. Needle eraser here. I don't know, maybe make your own. I think of like Lucian Freud or something, you know. I always feel like Klimt is kind of in the realm as like a Freud, where they're trying to kind of go against the grain or something. You know, and you see even little studies of their work that even maybe they've done, and they're taking a risk with something. I think that's awesome to try and be playful with things. All right. This is the Cretacolor. Okay, just kind of linear quality to it. Maybe a little more tonal. You know, the one thing I talk about a lot in teaching composition or something, or balance of a picture, is that, you know, are you actively thinking about it? You know, so for me, I'm like, what? I don't want to just do the same mark over the paper. I'm designing all the time. Actually, a Frank Benson quote: talks about that design or you'll get in trouble. It's not merely just a copy of things. It's not purely mimetic. All right, there we go. Start to build it kind of a little bit more tonally. Oops. Maybe that helps, because now I gotta change my grip. There's like balance and even suggesting something like in there. Soften that a little bit. Of course, I'm just kind of playing. The question is, if you let go of what the outcome is, will you find something? I feel like something will come out of it. There we go. Kind of work it in. Again, another veil. And this, I don't know what happens if you kind of erase now into it. Eraser can make different marks too. Maybe I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. So how far do you want to take it? Sometimes I find that if I stop, it may be better than if I keep going. And that's not really even a matter of time. It's just sometimes we have, like, I say it a lot to my students that, there's a quote by William Merritt Chase: "It takes 2 artists to paint, one to stand behind with an axe before the artist destroys it." What does that even mean? It means that possibly we're overworking things, and Benson says that you want to bring things so that the final stroke in a painting is like the final piece that it needs, not like render the crap out of everything. And it's a different way of kind of approaching something. So it allows us to kind of play, and but bring things from general to specific. But if you're looking at someone like William R. Chase or, you know, Frank Benson, and you're admiring their work, maybe that's something you want to consider playing around with. So I think that's good enough. I'll leave it at that for the quick little study, but even this little drawing over here is gorgeous.